Christopher Nolan,
That's
the
good.
director of Inception, Memento, the Dark Knight trilogy. This guy's great. He did Interstellar and Dunkirk. He's finally coming out with his new movie. He really takes his time. People like Spielberg, they have a movie like every year, but Christopher Nolan takes his time because he wants to do some insane stuff. So next year, the movie Tenet comes out. Now, this film stars John David Washington. You know who John David Washington is, Mick?
I don't.
The son of Denzel Washington is the star of Christopher Nolan's next movie.
Is this his first movie?
His second big movie. He did Black Klansman. He was the star of Black
And
Klansman.
this is Denzel's son?
And this is Denzel's son. Was
I
the
had
star
no
of Black
idea.
Klansman.
This is news to me.
It's great. So the tagline of this film is there's like a new protagonist or something, talking about John David Washington. This film, from what we've heard, is going to be insane. It's going to mess with time like no Christopher Nolan film has before, which is saying a lot.
Because Christopher Nolan has already warped time so
Yes.
much with Interstellar.
All the time. We don't know what it's about.
Did you just say all the time that he's warped time?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to point that out.
So we don't know what the film is about, but we do know it's about time. It stars John David Washington and Robert Pattinson, who's the new
Batman.
He's Batman. Ben Affleck is that. Robert Pattinson.
Don't forget
is in.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Man, what's he been doing lately?
Breaking Bad movie.
That's a different Aaron.
Oh, sorry. Which Aaron is
Taylor
that?
Johnson is MCU's Quicksilver.
Oh,
And
right.
He was in the first Godzilla.
Yes.
He's cool.
Who's the Aaron that I'm thinking of?
I don't know,
Who's the
but
Breaking Bad Aaron?
because
all I can think of is
most people just
Aaron
know him
Taylor
as
Johnson.
the Breaking Bad guy.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm excited for this film. Christopher Nolan is my number one director, despite what you would probably guess would be Steven Spielberg, but I'm all Christopher Nolan.
He's a sassy British man.
He is. I don't know about sassy. I don't know what you may have heard about it. You know a moment that I realized how much I appreciate.
Oh, Michael
Christopher
Caine's
Nolan
in this movie too.
Michael
Surprise,
Caine
surprise.
has been in every film since Batman Begins of Christopher Nolan. A moment that I loved Christopher Nolan and appreciated his work was when he sat down in front of a class and they recorded him simply explaining the Memento timeline, like in depth.
He maps it out
like
for them.
he has a chalkboard behind him.
Is this on YouTube?
And yes, it's on YouTube, and it's
I would
just
watch
him
that.
chalking out on a whiteboard just the entire timeline.
So it's
of
not
Memento.
chalking.
It's not chalking. It's a
It's
whiteboard.
whiting.
It's a marking out.
Marking. Okay.
And it's so in depth and complicated, but he has zero qualms with understanding this. He completely knows his own craft and everything he's doing, and this movie will be fantastic. It
It's
also
another
stars
war movie.
It also stars Elizabeth Debicki as well from. She's the yellow lady from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
So it is war movie based, correct? Or am I wrong about that?
It's like everything. It's supposed to be
Oh.
an action adventure movie that also deals with time and like psychological
You know what I'm confusing it
warfare.
with is 1917. Don't confuse it
Oh,
with
I
that
see.
movie.
Fun thing about Tenet, though, the trailer, while we have not seen it, has been released in the theater in front of Hobbs and Shaw. One time.
By accident?
No. So Christopher Nolan loves old film technique, and he loves the old days of when trailers were only able to be seen in theaters.
Oh.
So he snuck it into a Hobbs and Shaw screening to get some
Only
reactions.
one audience, one theater saw it?
one. Yeah.
Oh.
So there was like one news report actually describing what it was, but it was really vague, and it was just like John David Washington's face or something.
And by the time this podcast comes out, this trailer might be out.
That's true.
But it is interesting. It's an interesting concept to sneak in a preview or a trailer and just get some audience reaction. So was Nolan there to see the audience?
I don't believe he was.
But he probably had someone there
Probably.
to report back.
I
Maybe he was in the audience going to see Hobbs and Shaw.
I think I love
Why Hobbs and Shaw? Why that
mean,
movie?
Something just completely
Just anything,
unexpected,
okay.
whatever. But I really like when these directors that are old-fashioned. We got Christopher Nolan. We have Quentin Tarantino, who made all of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on just 35 millimeter film. He has zero CGI in the film. Like, there's shots in that movie where the camera starts in a pool, and then the camera zooms over the house and then into the front yard of the house.
Quite
and it's
elaborate.
all one shot, and he used a crane. He used a crane to shoot that. There's no CGI. I love this old-fashioned technique. Christopher Nolan, when he did Interstellar, the space scenes, they pre-shot. They made on the computers the actual space stuff so that the actors, when they were acting it, had something to look at, and they were in these fully built aircrafts so that they could legitimately do their performances well. It's great.
So Tenet will be out next summer. July 17th is the current release date.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had Christopher Nolan hasn't had a movie since what?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk in 2017, 2018?
2017. I think Dunkirk is his most traditional film to date. He hasn't really. Maybe Insomnia but that was his only film he hasn't written himself. But Dunkirk was pretty standard war film with a little bit of time mixing up in there.
Speaking of Dunkirk, that was supposed to be Harry Styles' breakout acting role. What is Harry Styles doing now?
Well, he was supposed to be Prince Eric in Little Mermaid, but he just turned it down.
So what's he doing?
I don't know.
Why is he acting and then not acting? Everyone thought
yeah,
Harry Styles.
we don't know why Harry Styles.
Prince Eric.
He legitimately just turned it down. So they must be doing something weird with it that he just didn't want to be involved with.
Interesting.